You're a Shakespearean actor, but have done all this popular culture work like Star Trek, Doctor Who, and The Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah.
Can you compare, contrast, find any similarities between these two kinds of work you do?
Absolutely. The similarity is the better the script, the better your performance. If you look at Patrick doing his Star Trek thing, forgive me for saying that, they're terrific scripts. They're wonderful, and many of them have changed people's lives, you know. And they are wonderful scripts. If you get a boring script that doesn't work, first of all, it's really hard to learn, and secondly, you're never any good at it. So, in a word, I'm only as good as my script. Therefore, I really try to do good authors, honestly. And if you look back at my West End record, I think you'll find, luckily, that most of the authors who's written plays have been pretty good authors. Secondly, having done so much Shakespeare at the beginning of my career, it really drummed it into me that listen to what the author has to say. So I've done 12 television series. And at the first read through, you get so many times an actor will turn up and say, yes, now about this line here, my character wouldn't say that. Or, can't we change this? Their own ego wants to take over and rewrite the script. You never do that. You learn the lines, even if they seem really strange, and you learn them, and you realise that the author has probably sit down till 4 o'clock in the morning working on these lines to make it work. And after you've run it through a few times, it begins to work. You see the logic of it. Why? Because you are becoming the character instead of imposing your own character on the piece. If you impose your own character on the piece, you are a personality actor, or a comedian, or a personality, which is fine. I'm not that. I'm a person who needs a good script, and then I try to become the person in the script.
Yeah. Can you give us like a 1 minute, a short soliloquy of some great words that were written that you got to speak?
Dead easy. What about, you see, Shakespeare is so much misunderstood. And people produce him nowadays and they think, oh, this old boring guy with this old-fashioned language, we better jump up and down when we do this scene. Or I better do it on a unicycle, I think that'd be good. And this is all fairies. Okay, so we'll put them on trapezes and turncoat. And nobody is listening to the play because they're afraid of him. If people would stop being afraid of Shakespeare and the great authors and realise that more Shakespeare plays are produced throughout the world than any other author, you'd realise that maybe this guy is pretty good. And only the ego of directors who want to do something new and brilliant with him, they want to impose their own personality on Shakespeare, don't do that. Apply the same rule to Shakespeare as I do to my part, and that is listen to what he has to say. Go home, pick up a Shakespeare, read him out loud. What is on the page is only a clue to what it has to be, and it has to be the sound of the human voice saying wonderful words which are encapsulated like perfume of great wisdom and wit and knowledge. Let me give you one example. Just 4 lines of the speech in which people normally say, to be or not to be, that is the question, whether it is noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end. I've heard it done like that, and you can't understand a word he's talking about. First thing is, he's an appositional writer. He goes for the opposite. He says, first of all, on that side, to be, and then his third word is or. And when he says or, it lights up a different part of your brain. That's what's called apposition, and great writers know this. Or what? Not to be. Come back to your brain. That is the question. Whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, listen to this word, or, done it again, to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. We won't go any further. You can go through a whole speech like that. And he keeps on saying, living is over here, and it's hell. I hate it. I hate the pain. I hate the emotional pain. I hate what life's doing to me. I can think about it, or I can kill myself. If I can kill myself, it's going to be peaceful. And he goes right up to the point of doing it, and suddenly he realizes, oh my God, he says, perchance to dream. Whew. And the rest of the speech is, maybe after we've died, we'll dream. So what he decides to do? He decides to stay alive. And that's Hamlet's problem. What is his problem? He thinks. He thinks too much. And therefore, like most of us, either or, we finish up doing nothing. And that's Hamlet's problem. As opposed to Henry V, who says, once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more, or close the wall up with our English dead. He says, go for it, boys. We've got to fill that gap, and the best thing to fill it with is your dead bodies. But do it. And do you know what they do? They do it. So there's two opposing Shakespeare characters, one who thinks, one who does. And they're both great examples to us.